Hi there, this is Brian Jimenez from brianmjimenez.com, and here we are today in another web tutorial using WordPress and Elementor. I'm going to be showing you backgrounds that I have used throughout different of my clients to create really nice pages. It doesn't have to be a home page, it doesn't have to be an about page, it can be really anything, it can even be a section. But these backgrounds are very eye captivating and they're very useful when you're creating sections for whatever website that you're doing, and you can implement this in anywhere that you want thanks to Elementor. So stick around and we'll get started immediately. So to get things going, we're going to go to our pages and we're going to create a new page for the purpose of this tutorial. Now I'm going to use just home for this one. It can really be anything that you want, but we're just going to make sure that we are editing with Elementor. If you don't have Elementor installed in your WordPress installation, I suggest you pause this video, go over to your plugins, install the Elementor plugin, activate it, and then come back to here and edit with your Elementor when you create a new page. So for this tutorial, I am going to change my page layout to be an Elementor full width layout. So for this tutorial, we're going to create a one column section, right? It doesn't have to be a one column. You can use multiple columns. But for this tutorial, we're going to be adding the background to the section, not the column. Again, you can add these type of backgrounds to columns if you want to. Just for the purpose of this tutorial, we're not going to do that. So my section, I want it to be a height fit to screen, and what that does, basically it creates the height and forces it to be as big as the screen that you're looking at currently. Now we're gonna go to the style section, and under background we're gonna be clicking on the classic button and selecting the image that we want to use for the background. So for this purpose, I'm gonna use this city image, right? And we're going to play around with position, attachment, repeat, and size. So first of all, the position that I want it is going to be center. You can use anything that you want, really. It just really depends on the image that you're going to be using. So for the attachment, I want it to be fixed instead of default. Then the repeat, I'm going to have it on no repeat, and the size, I want it to be cover. So what this does is basically creates a fixed background where whenever you scroll, everything scrolls on top of the image and gives that parallax effect that we want. So this is this is a very simple way of creating a background. Whenever we add a text, I'm just gonna display here, gonna make a big text here. We want to see this effect fully right there. So you can see the background is always static, is fixed on, there, and everything else is going to be moving. If we were to change the attachment from fixed to scroll, you can see now that the image scrolls with the other elements that we have here. So right now, to have that parallax effect, we're just going to have it attachment as fixed. And that's the very first background that I'm going to be showing you. All right, so the second background we're going to be creating, I'm going to create a new section right here, right below this one. And then I'm going to have it fit to screen as well. Again, only for the purposes of this tutorial. And this one's going to be different. We're not going to be using an image, but we're going to be using an icon. And this icon I pre-uploaded, right? It's a 100 by 100, so it's fairly small. But what's really cool about this is that it creates a repeat sequence all throughout the whole background. And it kind of gives it a little cool twist to what you're promoting. I've used this to specifically promote some sauces that my clients were going to sell. So this is a really cool way of creating a background, not necessarily having a full image, but you can just use a small icon and it will automatically repeat itself. If it's not repeating itself for whatever reason, you can always go back right here to this section, to the background, and on repeat, you say repeat on X, repeat on Y, or literally just repeat all over the place. Just make sure, you can play around with it and just select the settings that you really want, but at least mine by default automatically just repeats the whole thing just because of how small it is. So the third background that I'm going to be showing you is a background that I have used on my personal site. And it's something that I really like because it's really cool. It's very different. You don't see this everywhere. And it's thanks to Elementor, they facilitate creating these type of backgrounds really well. So again, we're going to create the same section and we're going to go back to the background, selecting the classic. And now this image, I'm going to be using myself. And what's particular about this background is that it only works if you have a white background on you. So for example, if you have your product or you have yourself or whatnot, it has to have this white background by default on the image for it to kind of work how we want it to work. But again, I'm going to center this image. I'm going to have it as no repeat, and the sides is going to be cover, so it kind of stays within, it just displays. And now, this is what I call a dual exposure. So we're going to go to the background overlay section, and on the classic background, we're going to select an image, and this image in this occasion is going to be a city. I mean, that's like what I like. You can always use different images that you want. It really doesn't matter, but the only requirement is that the initial background image has to have that white background. Then I'm going to go again, adjust the settings for my overlay image. Attachment, I'm going to leave it default. No repeat on the repeat, and then the size to be cover, right? And what's really cool is that now Elementor has this blend mode, and blend mode has a different kind of effects that you want. And for this particular demonstration, I'm going to use the screen blend mode, and what that does, it just blends both images and kind of creates this dual exposure image that looks really cool, very interesting, very eye-catching, and it looks very modern as well. So it really depends on how you want to portray your brand and whatnot. And another really cool feature about this is that on the attachment, if I leave it as fixed, then that image is going to be fixed in the background, and whenever I move, you can see more parts of the actual city and whatnot. So it's a really cool, really fun to have background for whatever website, whatever section that you want to create. Now, lastly, we're going to be creating a particles background. So this particles background does not come default, and I'll be showing you which add-on to use for Elementor. So going back to the WordPress dashboard, we're going to head over to the plugins section, and we are going to add a new plugin. So on the right hand side search bar, we're going to look for Elementor add-on elements. So this is going to be the plugin that we are going to be adding to our installation in order to get the particles JSON file added to our background. You can see I already have it installed and activated, so all you have to do is install it, activate it, and then go back to the page where we will be adding the particles to the background. Now I'm going to go back and again fit to height on this new section, going to the background of the section, and I'm going to be selecting this image that I already pre-uploaded. Looks like it's a big image, so again, we're going to center, and this is, you know, just me. It doesn't have to be centered. The repeat's going to be, sorry, no repeat, and the size I want it to cover. So that we have, you know, kind of like this Christmas looking, yeah, kind of Christmas looking background. And so now we're going to be adding the EAE particles. So I'm going to be enabling EAE particles. So when I add this EAE, it automatically has a particles JSON file, or, you know, basically the JavaScript for it. And particularly, this is not what we want. We want to create something a little bit different. So what's really cool here is that you can generate your own JSON for, you know, this field below if you click right here. This is going to send you to, you know, the owner of the particles.js. And as you can see here, we have the same one that we were using that comes default with the plugin, but we can create a different one. So we're going to be creating snow. And see, we already have a pre-snow effect that, you know, we can use automatically here. And basically, all we have to do is we're going to download the current config JSON, right? And that's going to open up as a JSON file. So after you have downloaded this JSON file, you can open it and basically copy paste everything that you see on that file. We're going to copy and paste it right here. So again, I'm going to be selecting everything, pasting, and now we have a really cool background, you know, for seasonal, or for anything that you really want. You can have, you know, be creative with this and just implement different type of, you know, backgrounds that you want, or different type of particles that you want in this particular background. So there you have it. There's 4 really cool backgrounds that you can use for any section, any page on your website at any time, thanks to Elementor. So if you like what you see, hit subscribe for new videos that I'm going to be uploading, creating more tutorials, and sharing with you what I have learned throughout the years becoming a web designer. So hope you guys are having a great day. Take care. See you next time.